Good morning, it's Rich from Marvelous Ministries. A little bit of light in the day after my two early videos. Well, how to live like Christ. My personal journey. The example I want to look at now is the scribes and the Pharisees. Jesus rebuked them. Why did he rebuke them? The money changers. What I had in my quiet time this morning, what came to me was they live for self. See, when God created mankind, he created Adam and he gave him a purpose. He gave him something to do. It was God instructing man how to live. The serpent came in and deceived and lied to Adam and Eve and got them to live from their thoughts, their way, for themselves. No longer seeking to fulfill life God's way, to do the purpose God gave them. And we see that quite clearly with the scribes and the Pharisees. And Jesus still loves them, but rebuked them. So Lord, look at my life. Look at my heart. Look at how I live. Am I a widow? Donating my last 2 mites? Am I a scribe or a Pharisee? Am I like Peter still? Am I still like Jonah? Am I still like Moses? See, Peter was impulsive, reactive, emotional. Even after witnessing and participating in walking on water with Christ, with Jesus, he then resorted to his old self, his old ways, with a sword. Jonah had hardness in his heart towards the Ninevites. And when God gave him a purpose, he chose to not do what God instructed him to do. God gave him a purpose. It exposed Jonah's heart, but God still used him. But Jonah revealed many things about him. God, I'm not going to do what you want. I'd rather die. Okay. How many people ever have that thought in life? When things don't go the way you want, when you're being instructed by God to live the way he wants. Moses didn't get to enter the promised land because he added to God's instructions some of his own flesh and irritation and frustration towards the nation of Israel when he struck the rock twice. I don't know, could you actually imagine striking Jesus, let alone twice? Or like Peter, denying him 3 times? So Lord, what am I doing in life? Am I doing your will? You see, what came to me this morning is about the way we live. Do we live for us? For what we want? For our purpose? Or do we live for others? Do we meet the needs that others have? Not the wants. See, there's a big difference between that, because people want lots of things that God's saying, yeah, I know you want them, but it's really not what you need. I mean, just giving people money doesn't fix them, doesn't change their heart. If it's used for things they don't need. So Lord, I know in some ways that you have shown me that I'm doing your will, meeting the needs of others with a personal car repair ministry that I had. In general, it's just helping people. It's more than just fixing cars and things. I can help with other things people need. And sometimes people do need money. They need help to get them to the end of the month. But if they become dependent on that, kind of like welfare, they develop an identity. See, some of the things I see and think about welfare, it can be good in some ways, but also can be very damaging in others. People become dependent upon the government instead of dependent upon the gifts and talents and abilities that God has hidden inside of them. That if somebody makes life easy for them, they run the risk of not trying, putting forth effort, struggling to overcome, and thereby develop some of those gifts and talents and abilities or interests. And I think that handicaps people. It's like Jesus asking, do you want to be well? Some people don't. Some people like that identity, the victim mentality. I don't know. I don't want to get off on a bunny trail. I'm very well known for it. But Lord, please examine my heart and my life. Am I living to help others? Or do I need to be rebuked like the scribes and Pharisees? Corrected like Moses, Jonah, or Peter? I hope and pray I'm nothing like Judas, living life for my own agenda, trying to force you to do what I want, instead of me following you and doing what you want. Amen.